Faith Assembly presents Faith Break. Take a break and build your faith.
And welcome everyone to another episode of Faith Break. We are your co-hosts. I am Kevin. That is Brother Moses there with me as always. We have a special guest with us today. New York State Assemblyman. But before we get into that, Brother Moses, why don't you give everyone a greeting?
Hello, it's so good to be with you in the middle of the week and the middle of the day. It's a great time for us to get together. We know there's so much going on all around us. Today, this is going to be an exciting program. Stay tuned all the way through to the end. There's some encouraging words coming your way. Assemblyman Weprin has a lot to share. But before we get there, we want to just, take a moment to bless the most holy name on planet Earth. Let's lift the name of the Lord high.
Lord, I lift your name on high. Lord, I love to sing your praises. I'm so glad you're in my life. I'm so glad you came to save us. You came from heaven to earth to show the way from the earth to the cross. My debt to pay from the cross to the grave, from the grave to the sky. Lord, I lift your name on high. Lord, I lift your name on high. Lord, I love to sing your praises. I'm so glad you're in my life. I'm so glad you came to save us. You came from heaven to earth to show the way from the earth to the cross. My debt to pay from the cross to the grave, from the grave to the sky. Lord, I lift your name on high. You came from heaven to earth to show the way from the earth to the cross. My debt to pay from the cross to the grave, from the grave to the sky. Lord, I lift your name on high.
We are here this morning with Assemblyman, New York State Assemblyman David Weprin. He represents the District 24, which is the larger part of Queens, New York. And it is a distinct pleasure to have you this morning with us, good sir.
It's a pleasure to be with you, Moses, and I want to thank Pastor Nabi for setting this up and for all his spiritual guidance to not only to his congregation, but to the broader Queens and immigrant community during this COVID-19 crisis.
Thank you. Those are kind words. Thank you. Assemblyman, please share with us the impact this pandemic, this once in a lifetime pandemic, hopefully, has had on you personally and on how you serve District 24.
Well, our office, we have two offices. We have the Richmond Hill office and we have the Fresh Meadows office. And we've been operating full staff remotely. The office numbers roll over to cell phones, and we're getting every message as well. So we're actually handling constituency services remotely throughout this crisis. It's been about 4 weeks already that we've been acting remotely, and we hope it'll end soon. But in the meantime, we're dealing with a lot of new issues related to the COVID-19 that are taking priority right now. One of those main issues is food insecurity and people getting food that they need. And since we have such a diverse district, many different religions and ethnic backgrounds, there's a lot of specialty food that's required. We often need halal food or vegetarian food or kosher food. So there's a lot of religious restrictions, and we've been able to get Meals on Wheels and the city and state food distribution to meet those dietary requirements. And that's one of the things that we've been fielding on a regular basis.
Yeah, absolutely. Food, it's such as an important component to quality of life and health as a whole. But let us understand this from just your perspective as a person, not the assemblyman right now. What are you seeing? What are you experiencing as a result of this pandemic? How is this impacting you?
Well, it kind of is a little reminiscent of 9/11, post 9/11, when all New Yorkers came together in the crisis, and we were unified as Americans, as New Yorkers. It's a similar thing. Unfortunately, we've lost so many lives to this pandemic. It spread so quickly. We've never seen anything like this in our lifetime, where the virus spreads so easily, whether you have symptoms or don't have symptoms. No one is really safe. It seems to be that the advice of the governor, the mayor, all the religious leaders and community leaders have all said that social distancing is working. I know it's difficult for religious leaders and people of faith, because there are no religious services happening, no matter what the religion is, for the last 3 weeks or so, and we don't know how long it's going to continue. I know there are all sorts of services being done online, through Facebook, through Zoom, through just telephone calls. But it's obviously a difficult time. But as I said earlier, when I thanked the pastor, spiritual guidance now is probably more important now than ever, because there's a lot of people suffering. There are a lot of people separated from their families. There are a lot of people that can't go out. They're encouraging us not to go out. I mean, you can safely go shopping and go and come home without without socializing with people. But it's got to be very difficult for senior citizens in particular, who really are afraid to go out and are in a much dangerous risk bracket, for spreading the disease. And almost all seniors have some underlying condition, and that makes getting the COVID-19 virus that much more dangerous. So, we've been fielding a lot of those questions on a regular basis. Plus, there are so many small businesses and so many people that are out of business, that are out of working. They can no longer work. They've either been laid off or fired, because businesses can't survive without being open for extended periods of time. So we're dealing with a lot of unemployment insurance issues. Those probably the two biggest inquiries are regarding food, very important, and unemployment information.
Yeah. Are you also getting a lot of inquiry in terms of people accessing the aid that's supposedly being made available to relief businesses? Is that part of what your services that your offices are trying to help connect?
Oh, absolutely. We've had a call with the mayor's people every day that I've been on. We've had a call weekends as well. We've had a call with the governor's people. We're fielding issues as they come in line. They change day to day, but there was even a problem with burials, because so many people unfortunately have passed away during this pandemic in a short period of time, that there are a lot of cemeteries and a lot of funeral parlors, that can't, process the funerals and burials soon enough. And when you're dealing with certain communities like the Muslim community, you're supposed to bury the body as fast as possible, preferably within 24 hours, if not as soon as possible. And we've had a backlog of Muslim burials, and we've been getting a lot of those calls to call cemeteries to see if they can expedite it and try to, service the families. It's a tragic time. It's a very emotional time, and we've been, basically trying to help out, as government representatives, to try to make it easier for our constituents to get the services. And unfortunately, a lot of it is medical services, and other of it, unfortunately, is funeral services. And that's a tragic time, although it looks to be like the statistics are showing that the deaths are leveling off. You see less death. But the scary part is how quickly this can spread with someone that could have been a healthy individual, fully functioning, all of a sudden contracts the virus and can pass away within a matter of weeks, which is a very scary thing.
It is certainly. You serve perhaps the most diverse community in all of Earth, really, in Queens. I think you have everything, and we want to commend you and acknowledge the difficult task that you have and your office have, and thank you for your commitment to this community and your continued availability to the community. You're doing an amazing job. Your office is available, and we want to thank you for that. However, you're out there, you're seeing things. We kind of listed a few, right? You saw that there's economic hardship. There is this lockdown where people are now forced to exist in their apartment with their kids and their spouses. And in the city we have some instances where there are multiple individuals in small quarters, so they're facing that. Are you hearing issues where domestic violence and these sort of events are escalating? And if so, how are we able to deal with that right now?
Well, we're getting calls on that, not that many, but we are getting some calls about those situations. We have hotline numbers. We've been getting help for those individuals that need it. They need somebody to talk to. They need some services. That's a problem, but hopefully that'll end soon when we're able to continue to start social distancing and people aren't spending 7 days a week, 24 hours a day together. But I would recommend, if you can do it safely in your neighborhood, to take a walk, keep social distancing. The weather is getting nicer. I've done this with my wife every day, where we go for a walk because we're both confined. She's working remotely, as I am as well, and we have a son here that's living with us too, and he's been working remotely. So we try to take family walks. We're all been exposed to each other, so we're not concerned about spreading it among ourselves anymore. But certainly we don't have contact with with outside people, and we try to keep 6 feet apart when we can, and constantly washing our hands, wearing gloves and masks when possible. But we try to limit the outside activity, but I think it is healthy to at least take a walk if you can for a period of time every day, just for people's sanity and just to get out. Yeah.
So you're consuming a lot of the information, as many of us are, via the television channel, the internet, and other things. But we're hearing some really heartbreaking stories out there, and I know my heart have been broken many times over by many of the things I'm hearing. What breaks your heart, Assemblyman?
Breaks my heart when I hear about healthy individuals contracting the virus and dying within a matter of weeks, sometimes a matter of days, and the families that are affected by this. We have a friend, we just got a notice that a friend of ours passed away from the virus. She was basically in good health, a woman in her 60s, not elderly, but it is heartbreaking. And the fact that you can't have proper burial in a mourning period because of the social distancing. I think being able to go to a wake or if you're Jewish, to a shiva after the burial to console those family and friends is very important in the healing process. And because of the regulations now imposed and people being afraid and the safety of it, they basically eliminated all public funerals, the government, and as well as condolence calls are not taking place, and that makes the healing that much harder. I have a mother who just turned 90. We were supposed to have a big birthday party for her. She was on April 2nd, and we had to cancel it. Obviously, we'll try to reschedule it when things change. But it's I check on her every day. She's living. Luckily, she's living. In a complex, North Shore Towers, where there's very good services, and she has a doorman, and she has people responding to different needs. But not everybody has that luxury, and a lot of people are alone, and we try to help out when we can. So it's most heartbreaking to see formerly healthy people contracting the virus and passing away, and for the families not to be able to properly mourn those individuals. That's probably one of the most heartbreaking things.
Yeah, no, it absolutely is. It absolutely is. Also, individuals in hospitals and unable to be comforted by their loved ones at time, I think is such a tragic thing. But we're enduring it. We're dealing with it on a day-to-day basis. Thank you for sharing that personal story. And we trust that Mom is going to be fine, and you'll get the chance to celebrate with her that 90 and beyond. Speak to your constituents for a moment about some of the relief that's available to them. Things that they may not be accessing right now that's out there, and as services within the community.
Well, you can call our office, and we can get you food distribution if you need food, or if you know any individual that needs food. We also have, if you know elderly neighbors that need groceries delivered, we can handle that as well. We can help with if you need to be tested for COVID-19. And a lot of people want to be tested if they have some form of symptoms, just for the knowledge and being able to deal with it. We can arrange for testing to take place. There are a number of new sites that are opening up. Aqueduct Raceway is one in Queens that has a drive-through now, where you can drive through in your car safely and get tested. We have a number of other sites that have not been publicized, but we can get that, and we can get the services that people may need, whether it be unemployment insurance. We know that the websites, the Department of Labor, has crashed a few times because so many people are trying to access it at the same time. But we can help expedite that. We can cut through some of the red tape, and the most important thing is for people to stay safe. To maintain social distancing, to wash your hands regularly, with soap or with disinfectant. And, if you go out, it's probably safer to wear gloves than a mask of some sort. But probably the most important thing, and the thing that's been the most successful, is social distancing, not participating in large groups. It's hard because we're all used to socializing and being social animals and visiting our family and friends and celebrating special occasions together. But hopefully this will only be temporary. And if we adhere to these rules, hopefully we'll be back to normal sooner rather than later.
Yeah, talking about normal, how do you anticipate that happening? What do you see? I know right now there's so many discussions in the media and with various government agencies. Do you have a view of how that might happen?
Yeah, I think we're going to take guidance from our leaders, whether it be the president or the governor or the mayor or the governor of neighboring states. Governor Cuomo, who I know very well, and I actually got my start in government working for his father as deputy commissioner of banking for New York State when Governor Mario Cuomo was governor. And I think he's become a leader in this fight. He's having daily press conferences. He's giving out advice. He's dealing with situations. And he's been working closely with the governor of New Jersey and also the governor of Connecticut. And now I think he's bringing in the governor of Pennsylvania and Massachusetts because he wants a regional approach. Because people work in a region and employment is regional. And it's important that if we all go back to normal businesses, that it take place on a regional basis. And he's been working, for that with, as I mentioned, with Governor Murphy in New Jersey and Governor Lamont in Connecticut, which are the two closest states, the ones that had the most, overlap with employment. And these three states are working very closely together to try to make sure that we all come back together safely.
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you for those insightful words. So as we close off, how do you see faith-based organizations such as ours, Faith Assembly, and others being part of a solution as we move forward?
Well, you provide spiritual comfort to your congregants and to the broader community. You distribute information to the congregants and to the broader community. You play a very important role. And as I mentioned earlier, now more than ever, we need spiritual guidance. We need prayer. We need faith in God, no matter what religion you are. There's one God, and we want to, unite in prayer and a lot of these interfaith dialogues. I know that Pastor Nabi and yourself are involved in is very important. It helps people come together and realize that humanity should be first, and hopefully with God's help, we will all be back to normal. And on the medical front, I know Pastor Nabi is also a medical doctor. On the medical front, I think this crisis has moved along the efforts to get a vaccine for this, and I would think that there'll be a vaccine sooner rather than later to deal with this COVID-19. It's something we didn't anticipate, something that happened so quickly. It's hard to put any blame on any other countries. I know some people have done that, but I think this was a mystery to everybody, and it happened so quickly. So I think I don't think there should be blame, but I think there should be working together to find a solution.
Yeah. Well, thank you for your wise words and also for your kind words. We do appreciate the time that you've taken out of your busy day to spend with us today, Assemblyman. And we wish you the best moving forward in anything that you endeavor to do. May God richly bless you and keep you and cause his face to shine upon you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Moses.
So that was Assemblyman Weprin sharing quite a lot of useful information to our congregants. Please do access that service. It's available to you, and it's there to help you to bring some relief.
And not just you, but if you know someone that is in need of assistance, and maybe right now with social distancing you aren't in a position to help in a way you normally can, as he said, call his office. The numbers are in the video. We'll post the numbers in the comments after. Call, they're gonna set up, the grocery service delivery and things like that. So this is what our government's trying to do for us to help us in this time, and we should definitely take advantage of it and to make it through these times together.
Yep, absolutely. One of the pervading feelings and the state of mind right now is one of fear. And we bring on people like Assemblyman Weprin so that we can minimize that fear. But we have one who is with us always and there to handle our fear. Because of him, whom or what shall we fear?
You hear me when I call. You are my morning song. Though darkness fills the night, it cannot hide the light. Whom shall I fear? You crushed the enemy underneath my feet. You are my sword and shield, though troubles linger still. Whom shall I fear? I know who goes before me. I know who stands behind. The God of angel armies is always by my side. The one who reigns forever. He is a friend of mine. The God of angel armies is always by my side. My strength is in your name, for you alone can save. You will deliver me. Yours is the victory. Whom shall I fear? Whom shall I fear? I know who goes before me. I know who stands behind. The God of angel armies is always by my side. The one who reigns forever. He is a friend of mine. The God of angel armies is always by my side. And nothing formed against me shall stand. You hold the whole world in your hand. I'm holding on to your promises. You are faithful. You are faithful. And nothing formed against me shall stand. You hold the whole world in your hands. I'm holding on to your promises. You are faithful. You are faithful. You are faithful. I know who goes before me. I know who stands behind. The God of angel armies is always by my side. The one who reigns forever. He is a friend of mine. The God of angel armies is always by my side. I know who goes before me. I know who stands behind. The God of angel armies is always by my side. The one who reigns forever. He is a friend of mine. The God of angel armies is always by my side. The God of angel armies is always by my side.
Indeed, that song says, the God of angel armies is always by my side. I'd like to put a modifier to that for a moment. The God of angel armies is always on the inside. You know, in John 4:23, it says, anyone who loves me will obey my teachings. My Father will love them, and we will come to them and make our home with them. We know that God is on the inside. If we love his son, Jesus Christ, to the degree that we have given ourselves over to his service. You know, the great American essayist Ralph Waldo Emerson says, what lies behind us and what lies before us are tiny matters compared to what lies within us. I don't think Mr. Emerson had any idea what he was talking about in terms of the great power that lies within you. You, our constituents today, know, my friend, that God himself lives within you. There is a giant that is within you. There is the greatest creative power and force that ever existed that's resident within you. inside of you. God is on the inside. He is there to comfort you. To the degree that you know his son Jesus Christ, I will say today, my friend, I want to encourage you. Love Jesus, know Jesus, worship him, fulfill his calling in your life, understand the purpose that he has for you, love him. There is a giant within you. Awaken that giant, release that giant. Let it fight your fears. Let it fight your anxiety. Let it fight the distresses that are within you, because it will destroy because of the faith that you have in the Son of the Most High God, Jesus Christ. Let his love continue to rest, remain, and abide within you. May it grow stronger. May your love for Jesus Christ become more enmeshed, engrossed, and embracing in this time even of isolation. Let us spend the time to know Jesus more. Today, I encourage you, my friends, know him and the power of his love, and we will overcome these obstacles that are in us, in front of us right now, and even as we look behind us, and we see that battlefield, we will understand that it is Christ that has brought us through. Let us give him all the praise and honor and glory today. Know that the power of God is within you. Go forth with strength and courage as you minister with compassion.
Yeah.
In Jesus' name. Father, I pray that you would bless us, even as the day that lies ahead of us may have its own challenges. I pray, dear Father, that your Son Jesus Christ would minister in and through our spirit, so that we would have the comfort and the strength and the courage to handle every circumstance that may come our way. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Well, Kev, we have tomorrow and Friday. We have
Yes.
two great programs lined up. I am not going to reveal the details. I would just say to our friends, join in. You're going to be blessed.
Yes. Yeah, we have some special things in the works for you guys, so we hope to see you back tomorrow. We hope to see you back Friday, and we do want to thank everyone that's able to tune in with us live. I know some people, due to your work schedule or other schedules, just even as you're working from home, you're not able to watch us live. But we do see how many people view our videos and things like that. So we are very grateful to everyone that takes the time to watch. It does mean a lot to us. And with that said, we will see everyone tomorrow at 12:30. God bless everyone.
God bless. Amen.
For more information, please visit our website at faithassemblychurch.org. Follow us on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram at Faith Assembly NY. This is Faith Assembly signing off.